My name is Ethan John, and the past 2 years have been a roller coaster of crushing despair and astonishing triumphs. A devastating accident left me paralyzed, confined to a body that felt like a prison, but a groundbreaking surgery offered me a chance at redemption. What unfolded was a tale of betrayal, torment, and an unexpected path to healing. It all began with a catastrophic crash. I was riding my motorcycle on a bright afternoon when a truck driver, distracted and careless, swerved into my lane. The collision was violent, a flash of steel, then darkness. I woke in a hospital, trapped in my own body, paralyzed from the neck down, unable to speak or even blink easily. The doctors called me lucky to survive, but the word felt like a bitter jest. Simple acts like swallowing or using the bathroom became humiliating struggles. A hefty settlement from the trucking company covered my medical bills and provided a monthly stipend for my wife, Laura, and me. Financially, we were stable, especially with Laura's income as a paralegal, but no amount of money could repair my shattered spirit. After 6 months in the hospital, I returned home hoping familiarity would bring solace. I was mistaken. My life plummeted into an even darker void. "How are you coping?" my therapist asked, her gaze warm yet searching. Shame washed over me. "I barely remember those 6 months," I confessed, a tear rolling down my face. "That's okay," she said gently. "This is a safe space. I'm here to help you mend." I nodded, sipping water to steady my nerves before continuing. "Let's discuss your marriage," she suggested. I shared how Laura and I met in college, marrying shortly after graduation. I was only 25 when the accident struck, 3 years into our marriage. I'd worked as a mechanical engineer while Laura was a paralegal at a prestigious law firm. We lived in a roomy 3-bedroom apartment, one room reserved for a future nursery, another serving as an office. After the accident, the nursery became a medical room, packed with equipment to keep me alive. Laura tried to care for me at first, but the physical demands, especially personal hygiene, overwhelmed her. So she sought help. Our neighbors, Greg and Callie Wallace, stepped in. Greg, a lawyer at Laura's firm, often drove her to work. Callie, a nurse, checked on me occasionally and arranged for a home nurse. At first, I thought they were kind allies, but Laura still struggled, even with their support. That's when Greg's role grew more significant. "It started innocently," I told the therapist. But I could sense he had feelings for Laura. She'd break down and he'd console her. I'd hear them in the living room, kissing on our sofa, then moving to our former bedroom to be together. The therapist's eyes narrowed. "And it didn't end there, did it?" I shook my head, my voice quivering. Afterward, Greg would enter my room to mock me, boasting about what he'd done with Laura. The therapist's face showed a blend of compassion and shock. "I'm sorry," I muttered. "Where was his wife during this?" she asked. "Callie worked irregular hours, often night shifts at the hospital," I explained. "She was rarely home when it happened." I took a deep breath, struggling to go on. One day, about a month later, Greg came in while Laura was in the shower. I can't," shame choked my words. "Did he harm you?" the therapist asked softly. I nodded, tears streaming. "Yes," I whispered. "How often?" she pressed. "Maybe twice a week for 4 months," I said. "He even threatened to bring others to have fun with me." "Did Laura know?" she asked. I shrugged. "I'm not sure. She was never there when it happened. She'd come by later, praising Greg for helping me." I paused, my voice breaking. Then there was the monitor. He set it up in my room, connected to a camera, forcing me to watch him with Laura. She thought it was wonderful that he'd provided it. "When did it stop?" the therapist asked. "The day Dr. Victor arrived," I said, the memory vivid. It was mere hours after another assault. Laura introduced Dr. Franklin Victor, a short, balding man with a German accent, and my lawyer, Jacob Harrison, into my room. "Ethan, this is Dr. Franklin Victor," she announced. Dr. Victor introduced himself and his assistant, who held a tablet, then asked Laura to step out. She left, looking uneasy. "Ethan," Dr. Victor began, pulling up a chair. "I lead a cutting-edge research facility at Lake Arrowhead. We're developing 3D bone reconstruction and nerve repair implants. Your case is perfect for our work. I've studied your records, and I believe we can restore most, if not all, of your mobility. Are you interested? Blink once for yes, twice for no." I blinked once, hope sparking within me. "Excellent," he said, smiling. "This is experimental but fully funded by grants, so there's no cost. Even if it doesn't succeed, you won't be worse off. But I'm confident we can make you stronger than ever." He described the procedure. Replacing my damaged vertebrae with 3D printed composite ones, stronger than the originals, and implanting tiny electrical devices to repair nerves. The surgery would take hours, with recovery spanning days to weeks, followed by physical therapy. They'd already started crafting the vertebrae using my medical data. "Are you ready to proceed?" he asked. I blinked once. His assistant showed me the consent form on the tablet. I read it, blinked to agree, and used my thumbprint to sign electronically, with Jacob witnessing. "Let's begin, doctor," Victor said, directing his team to transport me to a waiting van. Laura intercepted us as we left. "Where are you taking him?" she demanded. "To my facility at Lake Arrowhead," Dr. Victor replied. "He'll be there for weeks, depending on recovery. Everything's been approved by his doctor, lawyer, and Ethan himself. Cost isn't an issue." "I haven't seen any agreement," Laura protested. "He doesn't need your consent," Jacob interjected. "Ethan's paralyzed, not incompetent. He wants this." Laura's tone softened, tinged with guilt. "Can I visit? Perhaps after the surgery when he's ready," Dr. Victor said. "For now, say goodbye." Laura kissed me, whispering, "Get well, honey." Conflicting emotions surged as we drove away. Watching her in the parking lot, I felt like I'd escaped a cage. At the facility, nurses prepped me in a spotless room. Dr. Victor insisted on starting immediately. Soon I was cleaned, gowned, and wheeled into the operating room. As anesthesia took hold, I heard Dr. Victor murmur, "My goodness," but I didn't know why. I woke up face down in a stabilizing device, a tube in my throat, an IV in my arm. The device rotated and Dr. Victor appeared. "The surgery was a success," he said. "We replaced a lot, so you'll stay immobilized for a few days to heal. You might feel tingling, that's the implants working." He promised close monitoring and left me to rest. Rest was all I could do, but the tingling in my back was a strange comfort, the first sensation I'd felt in nearly a year. That night, 2 young nurses, one blonde, one brunette, bathed me. I was stunned to feel their touch on my legs and back. They noticed my reaction, the blonde chuckling, "Looks like something's waking up down there." Their encouragement warmed me. For 4 days, I stayed in the device, undergoing daily x-rays and massages. On the 4th day, Dr. Victor tested my sensation with a pinprick to my calf. I grunted, unable to speak with the tube. "Did you feel that?" he asked. I blinked once. He had me wiggle my toes and fingers. Success. They removed the tube, catheter, and restraints, transferring me to a bed. "I'm thrilled with your progress," Dr. Victor said, offering me water. I sipped and rasped, "Wow." My first word in a year, tears welled up. "Like a new man," I whispered. He wiped my eyes, introducing my care team. Emily, my nutritionist, Na, my physical therapist, Rachel, my day nurse, and Megan, my night nurse. They'd help rebuild my strength, starting with bed exercises to protect my back. Then Dr. Victor addressed a delicate matter. "During surgery, I found significant rectal damage and collected samples. Were you abused?" Shame flooded me, but I admitted, "Yes." I named Greg as the perpetrator, unsure of Laura's involvement. Dr. Victor promised to report it, citing legal obligations, and arranged for a counselor. Physical therapy began with hand and leg exercises. Na, with her commanding German accent, pushed me relentlessly. "Gut!" she'd shout, joking about my future charm with every lady in town. My counselor helped me process the trauma, stressing the importance of seeking justice. Days later, Dr. Victor returned with Jacob and 2 state police agents, Cole and Davis. They recorded my statement about Greg's abuse, supported by Dr. Victor's medical report and DNA evidence. Agent Cole confirmed Greg worked at Laura's firm and questioned her involvement. I explained she was never present during the assaults but seemed unaware, praising Greg's help. They planned to charge her as an accessory and treat our apartment as a crime scene. Jacob was stunned, struggling to believe Greg's actions. I insisted on a divorce and restraining orders against both Laura and Greg. Jacob agreed to explore an alienation of affection lawsuit, though such cases were challenging. The agents estimated I'd stay at the facility for 5 more weeks, ensuring my safety. Over those weeks, Na had me walking on a treadmill and lifting weights. Emily's high-protein diet helped me regain muscle. Meanwhile, Jacob's private investigator gathered evidence of Laura and Greg's affair, which Callie, Greg's wife, was unaware of due to her night shifts. Jacob prepared divorce papers citing adultery, neglect, and cruelty, plus lawsuits against Greg and their firm for ethics violations. Laura never reached out, too entangled with Greg. 2 months later, authorities arrested them at their workplace, and Jacob served divorce and lawsuit papers. The firm settled swiftly, firing both and reporting Greg to the state bar. Callie learned of Greg's actions when he called her from jail for bail. At their arraignment, I attended with Dr. Victor and the agents. Callie, shocked to hear me speak, apologized profusely, unaware of Greg's abuse and affair. I offered her Jacob's contact for her own divorce. In court, the prosecutor cited Greg's flight risk and my restraining order, remanding both without bail. Laura saw me as she was led out. I raised my middle finger, a small gesture of defiance. Back at the facility, Na pushed me through intense therapy, and Megan, the night nurse, grew close, confiding that I was her only patient. She shyly asked if I found her attractive. I assured her I did but was cautious, still married and relearning my body. Her warmth sparked hope for a new chapter.